Good morning and welcome. Welcome to my live stream, Fight CPS, with your host, Bob Pace. It's 10 a.m. on, September the 23rd of the year 2025. Now, I'm on every morning at 10 a.m., Monday through Friday. And I'm on again on the weekends at 8 a.m., Saturday and Sunday. My second live stream, Fight CPS Stop Taking Our Children, is on at 7 p.m. at night, every night of the week. That's a total of 14 live streams I do a week here for all the people that need help with fighting CPS and getting your children back. Now, I've been doing this now for 23 months, almost 2 years. Come time in October, it will be my second year of doing this continuously. And I'm on here to try to help you all go through the gobbledygook of CPS. It's an agency that has gone rogue, and I would say 50% of you are going to encounter a rogue CPS. That's something we all have in common. There's over 2,700 people I've talked with that have said the same thing, and I too had the same thing. I am a victim of CPS. Very hardly down to CPS put me down. And I am here with my experience and knowledge of how to fight CPS. I'm not an attorney. I'm an educated man. I've been, married. I have 43 years of marriage experience, and then I have 61 years of work experience or life skills. I've been working since I was age 15. And so I have a lot to share with you. I've been around the horn more than once. I've been around the world and lived in and visit many countries and lived in many countries and lived in different parts of the US. I'm a traveler. I'm also have an interesting background in jobs and skills. So I'm here because I care, because I know what you're going through. I still go through it today. I'm still fighting CPS. I've been doing so since 2010 when they started to investigate me shortly after I lost my job. And it was false. It was done by lay people that are not professional, but the professionals know more better. I'm told that 50% of the professionals get the reporting wrong. And with lay people, it's more like 75% get it wrong. It's for alternative motives, which in my case was my in laws, my wife's mother, father, three sisters, and a brother that were constantly calling in once a week about allegations against me and my wife, their daughter, that we weren't taking care of the kids. And this went on for 5 years to finally they pulled my children from us, three of them. Now, I have six children, and the other three are grown up adults and have families themselves. But they've been hurt too, because what's happened with CPS is that it affects the whole family. I lost my home because of CPS, my forever home that I worked 45 years for. Um, I lost my uh, fifth born child, my daughter. My I have three daughters, and my youngest daughter was convinced to divorce her parents, convinced to change her name, convinced to get a uh, new birth certificate, and there's even some thing that she got a new social security card and was double dipping in my retirement. And that's even ongoing today. So I'm dealing with social services, the social security about that. So it's really, really a shame. It's really, really, really bad that people can be so vindictive and hurtful. And I mean family members. It really is a shame. And people are terrible. All you have to do is look at a couple weeks ago, a guy who's 31 years old that maybe didn't speak correctly, or that's our freedom of speech. He was shot. He was murdered. He was not only shot, he was murdered. A young kid. Why he did off his own, I don't know. But we're not here to talk about politics. I got to stay away from politics. It's hard because your CPS is important to me because I want to make sure you do not lose your children, or if you do, how you can get back your children. How you can get back your children. Now, this room is opened up to anybody that has a question or concern about CPS. Now, I have some housekeeping things I go over. One thing is that if you want to text me a message, which a lot of you do, please use this format when you make a question or a comment about CPS. Also, I talk about APS, which is Adult Protective Services. We cannot forget APS because it goes hand in hand with CPS. CPS takes care of our children under the age of 18. APS takes care of our adults from 18 to 100 years old, or however adults are. The APS, Adult Protection Services, helps out young adults at 18 who may not be in a home or foster care, but are special needs children and need help, additional help that the parents or the relatives can't give. Also, as they get older, it's kind of like the people at 18 and 19, and then you got the people in their 60s or 50s and 60s and 70s and 80s that are abused in caregiving homes, abused in their own home with their family members, abused and neglected. That's what CPS is all about, is to protect our children from neglect and abuse. But also, if the family needs to be broken apart, they're supposed to do what's called family reunification. And they don't do it. They don't do family reunification. Why? Well, in 1997, that was signed into law by President Bill Clinton that basically said that the federal government will pay the entities and the counties in every state $35,000 per child for any child that gets adopted into foster care. There's studies, they say that it took too long for family reunification. It takes a minimum of 1 year because a lot of parents have to go through classes, and some are 52 weeks a year. It is tough. It is tough out there. So if you're looking for your case and you're involved in CPS, it's going to take longer than a year. My case took 2 years. It took from the summer of 2015 to the winter of 2017. So 15 to 16, 16 to 17. So 15 to 16. So it took a year, and I would say September, October, November, a year and 4 months. That's a long time to go through CPS. That's a long time. Some of you have been there longer than that. Some of you have been in a long time. And it's all about money. That's what it's all about. Now, when you text in that message, make sure you put your name. Your first name is all you need to do, your city or county, and your state. Now, if you're from another country, because I'm open to CPS in other countries, I have a total of 22 countries. With the US, it makes it 23. I go from Indonesia to Bangladesh to India, then up to the Middle East to Saudi Arabia to Libya, then over to the continent of Africa to Liberia to Sudan to Republic of Congo to Rwanda to Mozambique, and then the provinces of South Africa. Then up to Europe to the United Kingdom, England, Scotland, and Wales, and also Denmark and Sweden. Now, across the pond to North America, I have Canada and its provinces. And in the United States, all 50 states have either texted in or called in. So those are the people that, are coming to my room. You're talking about 2,700 people. That's a lot of people. And I've even heard from Washington, D.C., which is not a state. And then south of the border, Mexico. And then further south in South America, north of Brazil, on the east coast is Grenada. Then across the South Pacific to New Zealand, and the land down under Australia. So those 22 or 23 countries all have similar cases like we did. They had a rogue CPS entity that was bad, that was corrupt. The government is corrupt. And it's sad to know that because it exists in 50% of the cases that are reported by the professionals. There's two kinds of reporters, the lay people and the professionals. Now, these professionals are your doctors and nurses, your school teachers, principals, counselors, your caregivers, your fire, your police. Those are professional. They have to go to school to take classes to learn about how to recognize CPS and how to recognize neglect and how to report it. But they get it right about 50% of the time. The other 50% of the time, they get it wrong. And hello there, we have somebody that is called Mazakraloa Fidu. Glad to meet you. I think you're from another country, which is great. I don't know what country you are, but it's a pleasure to meet you. And thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you very much for that support there and stuff. So we do have some people that come to the room, and we have um, uh, I don't know if that's a name, but it's called Lackawanna. Well, I'm going to call you Lacka, I guess. Lacka, welcome. I don't know where you're from. They said, how can I get the paper of my daughter? I called them and won't give it to me. Well, if you're the biological father, and your child has been taken from you, you have a right for the paperwork. All you have to do is go to the courthouse, go see the clerk's office, and ask for the documentation. They should give it to you. All you have to do is know your daughter's name and the case and identify you. There may be a cost, may not be. If you're financially um, in short of funds, you can get an indigenous form and not indigenous, I'm sorry, I'm saying the wrong word. Um, Low income form, maybe that's better to say it there. And that waives the copy fees. Lacka further says, they told me it's a closed case. How can you open back up? I'm in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Oh boy. This is Carl. Well, glad to meet you, Carl. And Dunbar's a name that I remember. Lieutenant Dunbar was lieutenant in Dancing with Wolves that Kevin Costner played. So that's where I recognize Dunbar. But glad to meet you, Carl, from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Now, it's very interesting because I have another person from Scranton, Pennsylvania that's on here a lot too. So that's interesting. I have two people from Scranton, Pennsylvania. They're a regular, they'll be popping in. Um, I think their name is Muscle something. They have a weird name too. Sammy, that's what it is. Sammy. Sammy is from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Carl, do you know who Sammy is? Anyway, a warm welcome. Now, you have to be, I mean, are you the father that you wanted to get on your daughter? So if you're the biological father, you have the right to ask for the paperwork. Social services is very corrupt, and I don't know if they'll help you out or not. I don't know if they'll help you out or not, Carl. But anyway, it's a pleasure to meet you, Carl. Um, okay. All right. Um, as far as opening your case, if it was if your rights, your termination of your parental rights were terminated and it's a closed adoption, you won't be able to get anything until your child turns 18. When the child's 18, they're an adult. And if they want to contact their biological parents, they can. They don't have to, but they can. Also, for all you listeners that are just turning 18 or going to turn 18, Make sure you get your records clean at your involvement with the child protection system, because they'll stay on your record and they'll come after you when you have your children. I'm being very careful. I'd get your records expunged. You have to get your records expunged, and you need an attorney to do so. You need someone that knows the law that can expunge your records so that you don't continue to get harassment by the child protection system. Because they are. There are so many family members here on my show that once were in foster care as a child, grew up and started having children of their own, and suddenly their children are being taken from them and they're being abused. It's sad. It really is sad that we have an entity, a government entity that has gone rogue, that's gone bad. Not all of them are bad, but a lot of them, I would say 50%. So it's a 50% shot. So that's one way if you interact. We actually had two ways. We had an emoji, and then we had a how to text a message. We've had those too. Now, besides texting me a message, you can be a guest on my live stream. To be a guest on my live stream, you would just email me, bobp@vincentwdavis.com. Now, I'm on, as I say, 14 times a week. All you have to do in the email said to Bob, could you please put me on the Sunday evening show or the Saturday morning show or the Friday night show or the Wednesday morning show? One of those 7 days of the week, you just pick morning or night, and you pick one of the days, or if you want to be on all of them, you can. I can take up to 9 people at one time. And I'd love to have you be my guest. Now, once you've identified you want to be on my show, I will forward it on to my show producer, Grace, who in turn will send you a link of how to get on to the application I use called StreamYard. StreamYard uses YouTube to transmit, and StreamYard is a software application that helps me with the format of this room. So she'll send you a link, you copy and put it in your browser. If you get knocked off, put it in again. Further, the rules are simple. We are very respectful to one another. That is really important. That's whether you're in right now calling in or texting a message to me or going to be a guest. Also, there's no profanity either, in the room or as a guest. And then we do not eat or smoke on the live stream. And lastly, we do not use the names of children, social workers, or judges. We do not use the names of them. So that being said, that's how you become a guest. And I'd love to have you become a guest. I can take up to 14 of you. Excuse me, I take up 9 of you, and with me makes 10. Now, I'm putting my phone number up, and there's my phone number. It's 626-698-0990. And you can call me right now. It's a private business line for me. I use StreamYard. I used Vonage as my software application for my streaming phone. I have a streaming phone line. I have 2 lines, my carrier line and my streaming line. Now my streaming line uses Vonage. And so then I have my personal carrier line for our private calls, for our personal calls. I shouldn't say private, personal. So I have my work line and my personal calls there. And I'd love to help you. All you have to do is call me at 626-698-0990. And I don't care if you call me a bunch of times. I'm here for that 1 hour to help you. I'm here twice a day. And if it takes twice a day, 5 days a week, I'm open for it. I'll help you. I'll help you get your children back if they're taken, or help you hang on to them, or help you fight CPS. Because without an attorney, you're helpless. You're really, really helpless. Doing pro se, which means fight without an attorney. The only good thing about pro se is you get to talk to the judge. When you're represented by A court-appointed attorney or attorney you hired, you have to go through them to talk to the judge. So it is kind of nice being pro se because you get to talk to the judge because a lot of the court-appointed attorneys won't talk to him. See, that's the bad part about using court-appointed attorneys. Yes, they're free, but they're not going to be strong with your case. They're usually fresh out of law school and have a criminal background in law. But we're in another kind of law. We're in a law that deals with children, juvenile law, deals with family, a mother, a father, and children. That's family law, and dependency law and dependency. Those three go hand in hand. Those are the three laws that are in there. And you need an attorney that can meet that requirement and get your child back. That attorney is Vincent Davis. I've known him for a long time now, and he is an excellent attorney. He knows his field. He's been fighting for 39 years against CPS. 39 years he's been fighting. That's a long time to think about it. As I say, most people have a 30-year job profession. The average, I think, is 44 in my field, and I have 61 years. So, and he has 39 years. That's a long time to be a lawyer and a long time fighting CPS. He's one of the best there is in the nation. And he'll fight anywhere. He'll fight anywhere. He has a retainer, he has an hourly salary. And it all depends on the complexity and how long the case has been going on. Roughly, for him in Arcadia to fight in LA County, retainers approximately $5,000. His hourly wage is $500 an hour. But that may be different depending on your case or the complexity. Also, if he goes to other states, he will fight for you, but he has to be compensated for his airfare, his hotel accommodation, and his eating. Furthermore, he has to purchase a license in that field to perform the law because it's virtually foolish to be in all 50 states and pay the fees because you're talking, it's got to be more than $1,000, but let's say it's 1,000. That's $50,000 every year he's got to pay when he's not practicing in that state. So anyway, call in. Now the other number you see there, 888-888-6582 is the law offices for Vincent Davis. There he can help you. Today he's in court. A Zoom meeting he will be in Santa Barbara County. There is a court case with David Helago to set up a trial date. They had postponed the date. Now today is a hearing for what trial date would work best. He has a lot of witnesses that would help him. So they're trying to make it impossible and hard on him. And he's got his day in court being postponed by them all the time. So he has a new date. He wants them to hold to it. Now that number will reach the law offices. Make sure you tell reception that Bob Pace sent you. If you speak to Mr. Davis, which you can hire him, you can tell him that Bob Pace sent you. It's very important you tell the reception and Mr. Davis that I sent you. You also can get time frames of live stream when people on. Vincent Davis has 2 live streams he does. One is called during the week office hours, and the other one on Saturday. I think it's just open to phone calls from Mr. Davis. The other people you can find out too. We have one person on the East Coast, KK Richardson, has a show on Monday nights. Her show time is 8 o'clock Eastern time, and it's 5 o'clock Pacific time here because we're 3 hours difference. You have to understand the times I gave you was Pacific Standard Time. It's on the west coast of California. And on the East Coast, you're 3 hours ahead. The Central Time, you're 2 hours ahead, and then Mountain Time, you're 1 hour ahead, and then Hawaiian time, you're 3 hours behind. So, and like England is 8 hours. I should say the United Kingdom's 8 hours. There's several countries there. And then Europe is 9 hours, as well as Africa is 9 hours. So those are the people pretty much in here. So I'm glad you're here because I want to help you. I'm looking for questions. And I had one question this morning from Lackey, who is called Carl from Scranton, Pennsylvania, who wanted to know how he could open his case or how he could get records. So I am a book of knowledge. I can help you out. Now I do use my rule number. Let's see, my rule number 4 is how to research CPS on the internet. I use Google Chrome browser and I use Chat GPT. Both of them are excellent, but it's the format of your words that's so important to find something. It's very important you put the city and the state, and then behind the state, you put in capital letters CPS. Now, they'll bring up a lot of things about CPS. If you want to refine the CPS, such as find a lawyer in juvenile law, family law, dependency law, that's what you could write after CPS. Now, if you're from another country, put your country after the state if you have a state, and then put CPS after your country. And then you can further refine it by what you're looking for in CPS, what you're really looking for. So I'm here as somebody to talk to. There's lots of solutions. I've helped out. You all have to do is talk to David Halago or Margaret King. Those are two individuals that have hired Mr. Davis. They have cases that are going well. Their cases are going well. But there's Bartley. She'll tell you she's from Montana. Betty Joe is from Montana. There's Dorothy Cook from North Carolina. There's KK Richardson from New York. There's Felicia from Oxnard, California. There's lots of people that have been what I call family here. So it's really good to hear from them and stuff. So we got a second emoji, and that was from Lacka, Carl from Scranton, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Carl, for that emoji. And again, thank you, Mizraki Fiduyu. I have no idea what that name is. It may be a Middle Eastern name, I'm guessing, or it could be an African name. I've never heard of that name. Fedu. Fedu. It's an interesting last name. It's a rich heritage of the Garfuna culture, whatever that is. I have no idea what that place is, so. Okay. M-A-Z-K. M. Okay. Mm, mm, mm. So we don't seem to have too many more questions here. I love to have questions because I don't like to talk. I mean, I do talk, but I'd rather have you guys ask me questions of how I can help you with your CPS matter. I'm here to help you, to brainstorm you, to give you ideas, to give you hope of how to fight and deal with the government entity that is so bad. A government entity that's so bad. Um, anyway, um, I'm glad you found me, and was I have developed 5 rules. Rule one is you need to get an attorney who's licensed in school, and I already talked to you about one, Vincent W. Davis. I want to thank him very much for all he does. He does a lot of freebie stuff. He's a good attorney. He's very knowledgeable. He knows how to fight. Not only has he been doing it for 39 years, he's a trial attorney. And on top of that, he's a civil rights attorney because he's done lawsuits against CPS. He's not afraid of CPS. He's not afraid of CPS. Now, we're halfway through the program. We're halfway through the live stream. I end the show at 11 o'clock, and I'm not going to be able to be seen until 7 o'clock tonight. But I do want you to know that you still got a half an hour to make a phone call, to call that number or ask me a question in chat. Either text me a message about a comment about CPS or APS or a question about either one. And I I really do care. I mean, there's so much beautiful people. I remember my first person that worked with this room is Daniel Watt, and she comes by every so often and says hi. She had a special case where her son was special needs child, and he was caught up in the CPS system, and they were trying to keep him in longer than they're supposed to. But she was able to get him out of it and adopt her son because he needs a caregiver because of the special needs. She's also adopted her brother. And so she takes care of her brother and she takes care of her son. And that's a very special woman that devotes to 2 people for the rest of her life. That's really good. There's also a special person called Faye Manley. Faye Manley is a woman that got to meet that was a co-host of my show. Danielle Watt was a co-host too, but anyway, Faye came along and she's a co-host of my show, and I really enjoyed having her. She had a hard life. She was in and out foster care all her life, her youth. She had terrible teenage years. She was abused and tortured and trafficking. It was terrible. She experienced all the worst things you can imagine. Anyway, she grew up. She somehow got a high school education and a college degree in nursing. But she's had some health issues. And that's probably hard on her. And while she was my co-host, I miss her because she really told me how Kentucky takes care of their CPS people. I found out that the Kentucky governor is corrupt. He was a vice president candidate, and I would not have voted for him. Um, anyway, Kentucky is bad. There's a bad images there. Now she's from the Richmond area of Kentucky, and there's other people I met from Kentucky too that gave similar ideas that things were bad. Things were bad. But she still touches base. She's still in touch with me. But she has her son. She had to give up her daughter. It's really weird how CPS says you got to choose between your son or your daughter. You can't have both. And her son was special needs, so she's going to pick her son. But she was also given other kids by foster care to watch. Now, what was confusing is that why couldn't she watch her daughter? Her daughter was very beautiful, and it's money. I hate to say it. It's all about money, how CPS operates in foster care, how they get money, how they do bonuses, and how corrupt they are. How corrupt they are. Now, I maybe not talked about the pink ladies in a while, but there's a group of social workers, 8 of them from Prescott, Arizona, in the Child Protection Services there, the Department of Children's Services, DCS. Well, they decided to buy pink T-shirts, and it wasn't because they wanted to support breast awareness. They wanted to put a message, and in white lettering on the front of the pink T-shirts, they put "professional child kidnappers," and on the back, they put "parents, you know where your children are at." Now, these two messages were very derogatory, very, very bad, and you know. Okay, um, I was thinking about some of the things I'm telling you. Now, rule number one I've already talked about is that you get an attorney. Your court appointed attorney, if you're going to use the court appointed attorney, the public defender, there are 4 things you must impress upon the court appointed attorney. They need to do their job. If they don't do their job, you can sue them for negligence or report them to the state bar and have their license removed if they're not performing. You have to kick them in the seat of the pants. And you have to tell them that you're not guilty of the accusations, that you want to make sure that the court appointed attorney tells the judge that you want family reunification. And 3, that you'll follow the orders by the judge, the court orders, the judge orders, not what social workers want, but the court orders of the court. You will follow them. And 4, you will ask for maximum visitation rights with your children, whether they're Zoom, whether it's supervised or unsupervised. You want to see your child as much as possible. So those are the four things you got to impress upon the attorney. Besides, hopefully, he'll fight for your case. But it is hard. It is so terribly hard. Now that court-appointed attorney is, he's hired fresh out of law school. He only has a criminal law background, and he's sat with 30 to 100 cases, so they keep him busy. So he doesn't have time to talk to you outside of court. But it may be the only source you have. Make sure when you talk to a social worker, it's yes, no answers, and do not give them extra information. You should never see them alone. You should see them with your attorney, and you should see them never in your home. You don't want to open up your home. Too many of you are allowing people to come into your home. Police are strangers. Social workers are strangers. The police are very intimidating to dress the way they dress. So that's why social workers use them. But the only purpose of the police is supposed to protect the social worker, not institute or changes that they're trying to make done. Um, so moving on to rule number 2 is documentation, and documentation is that you want to document everything. You want to document everything. It's very important that you get yourself a notebook, a 3-ring binder, as thick as you can. I think there's 6 inches or 8 inches. I don't know. And you want to get tabs and put the tabs in there to organize your material. And you want to create 2 very important documents. They can be done on notebook paper or in a journal book. One is your journal, which you can buy a journal and a book to write in. And you can write it to your kids. You can say to your kids um, about what you're going through, how much you miss them, and so forth. That journal can be very useful because you also have information to help you about your case later on. But if something happens to you, heaven forbid, or something happens to your child, at least they'll have a record of who you are and what you are. A lot of people should keep journals because their life is very important here on earth. And it's really nice to have it. The other document is called a timeline incident. Timeline incident. What you do is you track all the incidents that are happening in a timeline pattern. You use 3 lines per incident. The first line will be where you either talked to the person on the phone or met them in the office. You put the address. You put the date and time of what transpired. And then after that, after the date and time, then you put the people that were involved with the incident. The second line is a summary of what the incident was about. It's a 1-sentence summary. The third line is what the incident was all about. If you don't know the ending results, leave it blank and fill it in later. But those 2 documents, the journal and the timeline, are something very important. Also, the notebook will contain your court papers, your social worker papers, your class papers, your program papers, anything like that should be included in there. Rule 3 is very, very important because you do not want them in your home and you do not want them taking your child. If you happen to see them outside and you run into them, be courteous, but ask them, is this a legal matter? If it is, tell them that you're not prepared to meet with them, that you need to get your attorney, and your attorney and you will get back to them with the time. Make sure you get the name and the place and the phone number and everything, whoever you're talking to. And sometimes you got to check IDs because they do lie. Police will lie, and so will social workers. Now, I don't know the percentage of bad police, but there are some bad police out there that you got to be careful about. Police are supposed to be used only to give protection to the social workers, not to enforce the laws of child protection system, not to do that at all. They're supposed to do protection. They're certainly not supposed to. And if you let them in the house, you open up a can of worms. Your house may not be ready for outsiders. Just think if it was a real person and they didn't, well, they are real people, but you don't let strangers. You were taught that way a long time ago. Um, it, uh, it, you know, if it is a legal matter, then you say you need your attorney because your civic rights, your constitutional rights, says that any criminal matters, you're allowed a attorney through all facets of that. So you got to do that. You got to do that. Um, we're now at the 10-minute mark. We got to go off, or actually 5-minute mark. I've got my time wrong. We're at the 5-minute mark left in my show. At that time, I'm going to take my phone number down and put another banner up there called the Department of Government Efficiency. This is a resource you can use if you need to contact at the federal level that your problem with CPS aren't being handled at the county level or at the state level. You basically have three levels with CPS. You have the county, the state, and the federal government. Now, the Department of Government Efficiency called Doge is a government entity that was created by Donald Trump, the president, and one of his campaign promises. And he's investigating all the government entities to see wasteful spending and wasteful time. He's trying to correct a lot of that, and also agencies that are corrupt. Now, I know he's investigating social services, and part of social services is the child protection system. So I know they're being investigated. So, with that being said, there's the information about Doge. There's a website. They actually offer a career job on the website, but it tells you exactly what they're doing. Their phone numbers, there are two of them. They're at the White House. Area code 202 is the White House. You can call and ask them questions. Also, there's an email that you can send them if things are going amok with your county CPS. You can send them. It's a way of fighting the government at the federal level. Leave that on to the end of my show. Um, Also, it looks like we really have not had any people except Carl Dunbar from Scranton, Pennsylvania, who has his Facebook handle Laka. And I want to thank you for Laka. I hope you're able to get a hold of your case and that you get to see your daughter. You know, it's very important. Even at 18, you can see your daughter. Now, I know what it is to lose a daughter. My daughter was taken at age 12. She's 23 now. I've not seen her. It's the really hardest thing I go through in life. Right now, there are two family members, actually, my whole family members have been scattered. I have my two sons, my young sons. They're with me. Now they've moved on their own. One just turned 20, the other one turned 25, and they're both pursuing college degrees and both doing good in life. Both of them have jobs and supporting themselves. So that's one of my successes as a parent, that all my children are all working and supporting jobs. I'm really proud of them. For my oldest boy, who is a JAG in the Air Force, to my oldest daughter, who's a professor at a university, who has two children of her own and a family, to my firstborn daughter, who's a teacher and happily married, and then my youngest daughter, who I have no idea what's going on with her, but she is has a job. I know that, and she's able to take care of herself. She lives with my oldest daughter, and then my second youngest son, who has my name, same name as me, is getting married shortly. Is getting married shortly. So that's a good positive things. And my youngest, he wants to be a film director. He's really aspirational. He was a really superb athlete in high school. He played for the number one team in the country in football, and it was 10 years of my 11 years of following this team of excitement in my life. But I am a family man. I do love my family, and um, I'm here. I'll be here tonight at 7 o'clock to help you with your questions or concerns. Some of you are going through cases today. I'd like to hear the outcome. I want to hear from David Halago tonight, how it made with your court appearance to get a trial date so you get your daughter home. I want to hear how that goes. Margaret King, I'd like to know an update on you. Again, both these people are working with the law offices of Vincent W. Davis. But right now it's 11 o'clock. I do need to sign off. God bless you all. Um, and don't give up. Don't give up. I know it's an easy thing to do. I haven't given up. I still want to fight my daughter. I still want to fight my daughter. I have not given up. I'm not giving up. So with that being said, there'll be a short video at the conclusion of my live stream. Please watch it. And again, thank you, people, for making this live stream possible to help you. Thank you, Carl Dunbar, and thank you, Mackenzie Fidu, and the rest of you. I don't know your names right now, but there's some of you still in the room there. So I'll see you tonight at 7 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time. Have a great day.
A vivid picture is encrypted in your mind as the critics get in line like they're witnessing a crime. But then you notice there's a shiver in your spine from the feelings of discontentment and bitterness combined. Heartbroken when you listen to the judges, another kid's innocence corrupted. And if you go against then it's destructive. Consider this predicament the toughest, but we believe in a system fit for justice. Child Protective Services only pretends to save it. The one solution for this is worthy of instant praises. 30 years of experience with relentless cases. Allow me to introduce them. This is Vincent Davis, defending you when they don't think a mother fits the role. Is it juvenile dependency or government control? Observe the pain in their eyes. It's time for us to realize we are the last